Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down a whole new way of thinking about corporate growth. It's all about ditching those old, disconnected sales and marketing teams and building something new, a single AI-powered revenue engine.
So let's kick things off with a question that, probably keeps a lot of leaders up at night. Why is growth so often unpredictable? Why do so many great strategies seem to hit a wall and just stop scaling? For way too many companies, revenue feels less like a science and more like trying to catch lightning in a bottle.
And a lot of the time, the real problem is this. Companies are still running on an obsolete growth playbook. We're talking about using an old, analog approach for a completely digital world. It's a system that's just not built for today, and frankly, it's hitting its breaking point.
And this slide just lays it out so clearly. On one hand, you've got the old playbook. It's all based on intuition, on gut feelings. You've got sales and marketing living in totally different worlds, not really talking to each other. And your strategy? It's basically just reacting to whatever fire pops up next. But the new engine? That's a whole different animal. It uses predictive intelligence to forecast, it brings everyone together under a unified RevOps function, and it runs on a carefully designed, architected go-to-market system. The difference is, honestly, night and day.
So what's the answer? Well, it's what we're calling the new revenue engine. It's a solution that is built from the ground up to be AI-first and totally data-driven. And let's be clear, this isn't about making a few small tweaks. This is a complete redesign of how a company goes out and creates value in the market.
So let's put a pin in exactly what we mean by this. An AI-powered revenue engine is, first and foremost, a unified system. That's key. It integrates three absolutely crucial things: AI, data, and good old-fashioned commercial discipline. And it applies them across the entire go-to-market function. We're talking sales, marketing, partnerships, customer success, the whole shebang, all working together toward one single goal: driving growth that is both predictable and sustainable.
Okay, so this whole engine is built on 4 core pillars, and they're all interconnected. You have to start with a solid AI and data strategy. That's your foundation. From there, you design your go-to-market architecture. Then you run that architecture with intelligent operations. And finally, you amplify the whole thing with a powerful partner ecosystem. Each step builds on the last. You can't skip one. If one pillar is weak, the entire structure can fail. All right, so how do you actually build this thing? That second pillar, architecting your system, is where the rubber meets the road. You can think of it as the detailed blueprint for your entire go-to-market motion. This is where you get out of high-level ideas and into a deliberate, structured plan for how you're going to win.
And the foundation of that blueprint starts right here, with your market and your customer. But we're throwing guesswork out the window. This means using actual data to scientifically define your ideal customer profile. It means your messaging is all about the value you deliver, not just a list of features. And, maybe most exciting, it means designing a customer journey where every single touchpoint can be personalized using AI.
The next layer of this blueprint is your commercial and channel strategy. This is really how you start to scale. We're talking about building out partner-led growth programs, co-selling with the big players like cloud hyperscalers, your Amazons and Microsofts. It also means constantly fine-tuning your pricing and, this is huge, establishing ironclad discipline and governance around how you forecast and manage your pipeline.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. But, a blueprint is pretty useless without an architect, which brings us to a really critical question. Who is the kind of leader that can actually build and run this incredibly sophisticated engine?
And this just shows you how different this role really is. This new kind of leader has to be fluent in AI and data strategy. They need to think like an architect, designing these complex operating models. They have to have massive influence across all the different functions: sales, marketing, even the data and AI teams. They need to be a trusted advisor to the CEO and the board. And on top of all that, they've got to be committed to transforming the entire workforce through AI upskilling. It's a huge job.
And this quote right here, it just nails the core philosophy. It's not about making the sales team a little better or the marketing team a little better in isolation. The real goal is total integration, weaving AI strategy, revenue design, and go-to-market execution into one seamless, powerful growth engine.
Okay, this all sounds really impressive, right? But let's get down to brass tacks. What does this actually deliver for the business? Let's talk about the tangible impact, the real results that create predictable enterprise value. Because at the end of the day, this is why it all matters.
I mean, just look at this number, 4x. This isn't some small incremental gain. This is documented 4x revenue growth from a real-world business turnaround. We're talking about a company scaling from around $35 million to over $150 million. That is absolutely game-changing growth, and it's what's possible when you build this engine the right way.
And it's not just about that top-line revenue number. It's about becoming incredibly efficient. Check out this chart. It shows you what happens to your core metrics. Your customer acquisition cost, it plummets. At the same time, your sales win rates shoot up and your deals start closing way faster. So you're not just growing, you're growing smarter, faster, and a whole lot more profitably.
So when you pull it all together, the big takeaway is the massive strategic impact. You get that accelerated revenue, of course, but you also get better profitability, higher margins. Your business becomes way more predictable. You finally have a commercial model that can actually scale with you. And you end up with a modern, competitive go-to-market motion that really sets you apart from the competition. So we'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. Your company, right now, is a data factory. It is churning out more and more of it every single second. The defining question for the next decade of growth is really simple. Is your leadership actually equipped to turn all of that raw data into revenue?